Hi, this is Ace Frehley.
You're listening to Living All Day. It's me, Jim McDonald. I am joined by the phenomenal Marvin, the Spaceman himself, Ace Frehley.
My man.
Your birth name is Paul Daniel Frehley.
Right.
That's a good start. You got the nickname Ace because you was able to get dates for your band members and friends.
And band members, yeah.
Like everybody wants to know, what's the secret?
I just had a way with chicks.
You was in a street gang called the Duckies. Also consisted of Blackie Lawless from Wasp.
Now that's a lie. Incorrect. Fiction. Blackie was never in the Ducky. I didn't meet Blackie until much later in my life. So, you know, I don't know where that came from. Blackie probably wrote that in to try to get some more press for himself. And I met Blackie in LA back in the 70s, you know. The Duckies, I mean, you can verify the existence of the Duckies by watching the movie The Warriors, because the Duckies are in The Warriors. So there you go. Fact.
At the age of 13, as a Christmas present, you received your first guitar and a pipe and a box of condoms.
No, I for the box of condoms. I received my first guitar, and then I subsequently got a little amp. You know, a little Japanese amp. It was a little Japanese guitar. It was called a Zimgar or a Kent or something. I don't know. But, you know, it started a revolution, you know. I mean, the first E chord I hit on an electric guitar knocked my socks off, and I knew I was destined to play electric guitar.
You actually motivate the guitar as something that saved your life.
That's true, very true. Well, you got to understand, when I joined gangs when I was 13 years old, I was also picking up the electric guitar, and subsequently, as I started playing in different bands, I ended up moving further and further away from the gang scene. You know, they used to call me up and go, "We got a rumble tonight, you know, in the schoolyard." And I go, "I can't, I got band rehearsal, or I got a gig." So it pretty much took me away from that element and did save my life, because a lot of those guys are dead now. A lot of them ended up in jail and overdosed on drugs, further down the road. So it definitely got me away from a negative element.
You did leave 2 high schools, and then you joined a 3rd high school. You left that one, and then you went back and you got your diploma.
True.
So what did you do to get kicked out of the first 2 high schools?
The first one was Xavier Lutheran High School on Williamsbridge Road in the Bronx. I lasted a year or less, and I ended up cutting classes, and my brother... this is how I got busted. My brother didn't see me in the lunchroom because my brother was a sophomore. I was a freshman. My brother didn't see me in the lunchroom, and he thought something happened to me. So he goes to the principal and says, "Where's my brother Paul?" I was playing hooky. I told my brother I was going to play hooky. Subsequently, they found out I was playing hooky. I got called. It was a very strict school, a parochial school, and that might have been the second time I did it. So it was like, first time I got the warning, the second time I was out.
Okay, let's move on to the second school. Why were we kicked out of that one?
Second school was Dewitt Clinton High School in the Bronx. That was a big transition for me because our Xavier Lutheran was about 200, student body of about 250 kids, and Dewitt Clinton was about 4,000 guys. The only saving grace for Dewitt Clinton was that 3 blocks south was Walton High School, which was all girls. So we used to cut out of Dewitt Clinton and walk down and meet the girls at Walton and take off.
You hold jobs as a delivery driver, a taxi driver, and you also delivered stuff for a liquor store.
That's true.
In 1972, your best friend at the time, Bob McAdams, showed you an ad in the Village Voice where a band called Wicked Lester was looking for a guitarist. Showed up wearing 1 red shoe and 1 orange shoe.
Speaker.
Although you didn't come off impressive enough to them, they liked your guitar playing, and 3 weeks after you became their guitarist.
It's partially true. It was Chris Cassone, not Bob McAdams.
So it's a different friend.
Everything else is correct. Wow. Just edit out Bob Adams and put in Chris Cassone.
Wicked Lester changed the name to Kiss.
Well, Wicked Lester, that's not true. Wicked Lester disbanded.
But Paul and Gene was in the band.
Paul and Gene left Wicked Lester to form a different type of group, a heavier rock group. They hired Peter Criss, they hired me, and then the 4 of us came up with the name Kiss. You really can't say Wicked Lester changed their name. When we met Paul and Gene, they weren't Wicked Lester anymore.
Okay, Kiss's first album, you wanted to impress Paul and Gene by dyeing your hair grey. And it wouldn't come out for 7 weeks, and you suffered an allergic reaction.
False.
So what happened?
It was just silver spray that washed out. I think usually what happened to me in Paris.
What happened to you in Paris?
Paris, and I bumped into a fashion model that I knew from New York, and she was doing a photo shoot there. Anyway, we ended up getting drunk on like 4 bottles of champagne, and I ended up passing out in the bed with my makeup on after the show. Woke up, I had an allergic reaction from not taking the silver off because it's ground up metal, and my eyes were swollen shut and I was blind. I can't see, help! And they rushed the doctor over and they shot me up with like prednisone, an anti-inflammatory and it took it down, but for a minute there, I thought I was blind. I didn't know what had happened. It was insane. It wasn't spray paint. It was just a silver spray, like, it washed out with the shampoo.
Love Theme from Kiss was written by the original 4 members.
Well, that's one of them. Might have been other ones that we all had contributed to, but, we decided to give it to the main contributors. Gene helped me. I'm credited for writing Cold Gin. But Gene wrote the bridge. So but Gene said, "No, I don't want credit." And sometimes Gene will write a song and I'll change a part and I'll just say, "You wrote the song, even though I wrote that part." It depends on In those early days, we weren't too worried about who gets the writing credit. All we cared about is the song good. We were more brothers in rock and roll and just concerned to reach for that brass ring.
Do you want to introduce this next song?
Cold Gin.
Jim McDonald. I'm joined by the phenomenal Spaceman himself, Ace Frehley. Your song Shock Me was inspired because you got electrocuted.
True. Scary.
You lost feeling in one of your arms. Do you want to tell us about it?
What had happened was I never got down to the stage. I was on the top. It was the set where we had the 4 Marshall cabinets. I'd walk out on top, walk over, then walk down a staircase. Well, I walked over. When I was just about to walk down the staircase, it was the beginning of the show, I grabbed the railing, and I wasn't grounded properly. I got zapped with 220 volts. But luckily, it knocked me back, not down, back, because if it knocked me forward, I would have dropped, 20 feet, broke my neck. So it knocked me back, my bodyguards came up, dragged me off, and I had burns on my hand, and I'd lost feeling in it, and it took me, a good 10, 15 minutes, but the audience started chanting Ace, Ace. And that got my adrenaline going, and brought me back to life, and I finished the show. But I couldn't feel anything in the hand.
Okay, so how long did it take to get the feeling back in your hands?
Came back the next day. Back slowly. I soaked it in warm water, and that helped bring it back.
In the late 1970s, you invented a laser beam that comes through your eyes, but continued to success of this. The management did see it as a success and said it wouldn't be broad because it could damage you and it could damage the fans.
False. I believe that was Paul. Paul was gonna have a laser coming out of his eye. I was gonna have the laser coming out of my guitar. It's up in the light truss. And because of what happened with Blue Oyster Cult, they blinded somebody in concert. All of a sudden, all these regulations came down really heavy on using lasers live. So they had routed out a channel through my guitar neck for the fiber optic for the laser. So we just pulled that out. We ran wires through it, and I ended up connecting rockets. So it went from a laser to shooting rockets, and I think the rockets were a better effect.
After Peter Crisp left the band, you got pushed back on making final decisions with the band.
Sure.
So what kind of decisions were these?
Everything from A to Z. You know, Paul and Gene are workaholics, and you know, I like to take more time off and relax. I mean, I'm going to be honest, folks. I'm a little lazy. I'm going to admit it, but it's okay because when I do create, it's genius. But talking about when Peter left the group, you know, we were looking for a new drummer, and here's a fact, and you can insert it into the next Wikipedia time you go in there to edit, that Anton Fig was a member of KISS for one day, the drummer from the David Letterman show. And this is how it transpired. We were looking to audition drummers, you know, when we did that, we auditioned about a dozen drummers, and Eric Carr was one of them, and we all know the history behind Eric Carr.
Sure.
But prior to that happening, I called up Paul and Gene and I said, because I had been working with Anton Fig on my solo record, and I said, why don't we get Anton Fig to play drums? And they both agreed. So I called up Anton, I said, you're in the band. He was thrilled. He couldn't sleep all night. The next day, Paul and Gene calls me and says, you know what? I don't think Anton's a good choice. I had to do the dirty work, call back Anton and tell him, sorry, Anton, you're not in the band. So for 24 hours, Anton was in KISS. Elated, and then he was let down.
Your participation in Music for the Elder was very rare because you didn't like the idea of the band not doing more of a rock, I think.
No, I contributed a lot to that record. In fact, a lot of my solos were edited out, and I still have a lot of them, and I may release them further down the road. Even though I wasn't involved with the concept, I still wanted to be a part of it. We were recording it in my studio in Connecticut. And then after a while, we moved up to Canada. We were recording it up at Bob Ezrin's place, the producer. And we went up there to record some tracks, but some of the guitar work I did, I just FedExed them tapes of my solos. I'd have the basic track there, and I'd do the solos in my studio. Finally, I ended up going up there, and we finished the record, but
It was featured on the cover of Creatures of the Night, but you didn't play on the album.
Creatures of the Night, I don't think I played much on, if any.
Replaced by Paul Vincent, and then you left the band. Did you get any royalties?
I'm not the greatest businessman. I mean, I still get royalties on merchandise and other things. You know, KISS doesn't own my makeup. I license it to them. Peter sold his makeup. I licensed the makeup to KISS.
Your solo song, Rock Soldiers, was about you being involved in a car accident or a car chase.
No, it wasn't a car accident. It was a car chase. I was pulled over in my DeLorean. I was with a friend of mine. Suspended license, and I didn't have my registration. And my friend was in the car, and a cop pulled us over because I bumped into a guy's car that was worth about $250. And he got out and he saw my car, and he figured maybe he could get some money out of me. And I said, what are you, out of your mind? Anyway, some cop saw us arguing. He walks over, and he goes, license and registration. I said, okay, no problem. I get in the car, I pull down the gold wing door, and I told my friend, get out of the car because I'm taking off. So he got out of the car, and I just slammed it. And for 10, 15 minutes, the White Plains police were chasing me all around White Plains, and I eluded them. Away from them, I pulled over at a deli to make a phone call to have my friend come and pick me up. And the guy that owned the deli looked out at the car, and there was smoke rising from everywhere, and there was dents all over it. And I seemed a little crazy because I was. And he called the cops, and I'm waiting for my friend to show up. I'm in the phone booth. When I walk out, you know, there's like 15 cops with their guns drawn. And they arrested me, handcuffed me, and took me away.
There's a reason I remember it well. I was slipping and sliding, drinking and driving, bringing me closer to hell. And the devil sat in the passenger side of DeLorean's automobile. He said, hey, Frehley, Frehley, let's not be silly. There's a life out there to steal. Rock, soldiers come. Soldiers go. Some hear the drum, and some never know. Hey, rock soldiers, how do we know? Ace is back and he told me so. Right. We went wrong way down the one-way road, hitting everything in sight. I cried, I am invincible. Said I was high above the law, but my only high was just a lie. And now I'm glad I saw. Rock soldiers come. Soldiers go, and some hear the drum, and some never know. Hey, rock soldiers, how do we know? Ace is back and he told us.
So how did they get that so wrong?
It's in my book. Read it. No regrets. I was going 80 miles an hour against traffic I hit fifth gear and I was gone. Yeah, the cop Chevy Nova couldn't keep up with me.
Although the original Kiss members went back and recorded Psycho Circus, you did not do many on that.
On a lot of the songs I didn't perform on because Paul and Gene wouldn't let me, you know. So pretty much Into the Void. Into the Void actually is the only song on that record where all four band members are playing on it. That's the only one Peter Criss plays on.
Wow.
Yeah, but those guys, you know, they wanted to do their own things, and they excluded me from a lot of the stuff. I mean, it really wasn't a good way to, you know, go forward with the creative process, you know, when you're trying to do a reunion tour and you know, the camaraderie was, you know, was stifled. But, you know, I didn't, you know, I wasn't called for the session, so I didn't show up. The last one, ladies and gentlemen.
Your final tour with Kiss was in the 2002 Winter Olympics.
True. That was mayhem. I mean, the security was incredible. You know, I brought my girlfriend with me, and we were on a float on an ice rink. But it was, you know, it was slippery because we had fog on the stage, and we were like trying to play a couple of songs, and we were slipping on the stage because I think it was like plexiglass or something, or metal, and the fog that we had, you know, was condensing onto the floor. And you know, I almost slipped, and I know Paul almost did, but you know, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was a magical moment. You know, playing at the Olympics. I mean, you know, there were 100,000 people.
And we'll end it there. Thank you, Ace Frehley, for stopping by and talking to us. And of course, you're now in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Congratulations for that as well. Ace Frehley, the Spaceman, ladies and gentlemen.
Pleasure.
You can forget me, baby. Don't try to lie. You'll never leave me, mama. So don't try. I'll be a gambler, baby. Lay down the bet. We get together, mama. You'll sweat. No place for hiding, baby. No place to run. You pull the trigger on my love gun. Been under fire 16 years, just waiting for his time to come. He fought the lies, fought back the tears. Can't wait to hear that starting gun. There ain't nobody gonna step on his dreams. So he held his hands high and he screamed, get me out of this rock and roll hell, take me far away. Get me out of this rock and roll hell. Get me out of this rock and roll hell. I need to get away. Get me out of this rock and roll hell. He's on the edge, he can feel it in his heart. This time the pressure's really on. He's gonna fight it, might even steal a guitar. This time tomorrow he'll be gone. There ain't nobody gonna tell him what to do.